You don't have to knock yourself out with a shovel. You may be saving yourself from a stiff back or a heart attack. And all you had to do was wait. Patience. There's a type of person for whom everything is undertaken out of desire to achieve a goal. They prepare food in order to eat it, not just for the fun of being in the kitchen. They start a business in order to make money. They exercise in order to get in shape. I'm sure that some of these people are very successful, and they are certainly highly organized. But in my opinion, a person of truly strong character sees success as an adventure, not as a point with an estimated time of arrival. The latter approach to me is impatient thinking. Impatient thinking can lead a person into some very big mistakes. First of all, when you are always looking somewhere else, whether it's down the road or up toward the top of the mountain or off toward the left field fence, where you're hoping to hit that grand slam home run, when you're looking off in the distance like that, you often miss what's under your very own nose. That means the pleasure and fun of living which come in the here and now get overlooked for something that not only isn't here yet, but might never arrive. True patience is more than just a waiting game. Patience doesn't mean you sit around hoping for something to happen. Patience is not a passive quality. Sometimes patience can mean doing something else entirely, thinking about another venture, taking off in a different direction, while you give events a chance to run their course. All through his long career on the screen, John Wayne never felt he got the credit and recognition he deserved for his skills as an actor. Yes, his films were consistently successful at the box office, and even today, John Wayne is still the #1 favorite movie actor in the United States. But a big following among moviegoers didn't translate into critical esteem or the respect of his peers. That's what the Duke wanted, and he felt he deserved it too. Then in the last years of his life, he made a movie called True Grit, in which he played a drunken, one-eyed old U.S. Marshal named Rooster Cogburn. That portrayal got John Wayne the Oscar he'd been waiting 40 years for. It wasn't the kind of high and mighty hero role he'd played when he was young that finally got him his award, but it was a role that he'd waited for all his life, and he didn't even know it was coming. A colleague of mine told me this story. He was traveling cross-country on a speaking tour and found himself delayed in Chicago while changing planes. In the first-class traveler's lounge, he fell into conversation with a gentleman who actually looked a bit like John Wayne during his True Grit period. And he was a little surprised to learn this gentleman was actually from New York City. And there was another surprise. Despite his rough-hewn appearance, this fellow traveler proved to be extremely soft-spoken. His favorite pastime was playing chess. But as he talked about his experiences in the construction business in New York City, he also demonstrated that he carried a big stick. His company had developed some of the most important commercial real estate in Manhattan. As successful people always do when they encounter other successful individuals, my colleague asked him how he'd done it. Well, he said, after I got my engineering degree, I spent some years getting hands-on experience in construction. I didn't want to be supervising people in any jobs that I didn't know how to do myself. Later on, when I started putting together my own projects, I had to deal with some pretty tough streetwise operators. Cement company guys, building inspectors, trucking companies. But I never tried to pretend I was any kind of hard case myself. I used to tell them right up front, you play straight with me, and I'll play straight with you. I never tried to take advantage of anybody, but I never let anyone take advantage of me either. You see, I always was, and I still am, a great counter-puncher. Anybody who takes a shot at me in business had better make sure it's a good one, because I'm going to hit back hard. But it's like chess. You don't necessarily hit back right away. You have to be patient. You have to wait for the right moment. You have to let the other guy know, okay, you had your chance. Next time it's my turn. But you don't say that out loud. You don't say what you've got in mind, and you don't say when it might be coming. You just go on, polite and friendly as ever. You don't ever let on that you're waiting for an opening. But you rest assured that your chance will come. It's like any other investment. It takes patience. Patience is the key. Needless to say, those several hours between flights were both informative and enjoyable for my colleague. And we can all learn from this story. Don't concentrate on things you can't influence, like when the planes are going to take off. Instead, focus on things you can control. And when you meet somebody you can learn from, then learn everything you can while you've got the chance. You never know when you're going to come across a book or an article that will provide a piece of information that can transform your life.
I would go to real fancy, like Ritz-Carltons and stuff like that, because they had linen towels wrapped up in a basket. And I would take a bunch of them and run hot water on them, and I'd take them in the stall and shut the door, and I'd take my bag and I'd soap up. Then I would wait till the coast was clear, and I'd run out and get a bunch of more rags and soak them up and come out and wipe it off. Then I stand there and dry, put my clothes back on. That's how I bathe every other day, man. And so I was in there one time, and they had a convention in town. And when I got all the stuff, I soaped up. This convention let out, and men was just coming in the bathroom, and I couldn't go out. So I couldn't get the soap off. So I let the toilet seat down, and I'm sitting there, man. I just started crying. I said, man, I can't take it no more. I'm finna quit. I'm gonna go call my daddy, just ask him, can I come home, man? I can't do this no more. So before I called him, I called the answer machine, and I got a message. And it says, Steve Harvey, this is Chuck Sutton from Showtime at the Apollo. We saw a tape of you. If you would come to New York Sunday night, this was a Thursday, come to Sunday night, we're gonna put you on TV, Showtime at the Apollo. Put me on TV, that was my dream. But I had a problem. I had $25, and I couldn't get to New York. How was I gonna get to New York with $25? So I said, man, I went back in my car, and I'm crying again. I said, man, God, I finally get a shot to get on TV, and then I can't even go. I said, how could you do this to me? And I'm 30-something now, man. I've been waiting my whole life, and you get me here? So I said, man, let me call this machine back and just see if he said this Sunday. And I called it back, and it said, Steve, this is Chuck Sutton from Showtime at the Apollo. We saw it too. We have an opening for you Sunday. If you could get here, give me a call, let me know. We'd love to put you on TV. So I got ready to hang up, and I heard, boop, you have another message. And I punched in the code, and the message says, Steve Harvey, this is Tom Sobel from the Comedy Caravan. I don't know where you are now, but I have a gig available for you in Jacksonville, Florida, to pay you $150 Friday night. If you can make the gig, let me know. I'm in Pensacola.
I'm trying to tell you to hold on. Why? Because it's all coming together.
Yet, everybody wants to know how to get from $0 to $1 million or from 0 to 1 million followers fast. Everybody wants to get to a place. Very few are willing to sacrifice to get there.
Patience, the mental fortitude, the mental strength to keep on going when you have absolutely no physical evidence around you that is saying you can make it. Just keep going. And I promise you, man, one day your dream is going to be a reality.
Don't deviate. Don't procrastinate. Don't become frustrated. All you have to do to win this battle is stay on track. There are moments that try the human soul so violently and so perplexing that if the truth were told, all of us have had moments that we wanted to throw up our hands and walk away.
Everything you're going through is preparing you for what you ask God for. You just got to quit tripping while you're in the process, because the process is necessary. You may not see it now, but when he gets you on the other side of it, you're going to see exactly why it went that way. And you're going to be okay with it. But quit tripping during the process.
Discouragement can creep in secretly, hide behind clothes, makeup, hairdos. Discouragement is so bold that it will even hide behind a smile. It will always ride to work with you. And if it doesn't catch a ride going to work, it'll catch a ride on the way back home. If you listen at discouragement, it will cause you to make bad decisions. It will cause you to think that life is not worth living. And secretly, behind the facade of a smile and a good morning and a praise the Lord and a how are you, you will wonder if you're ever going to get out of what you're into.
Oh Lord, why me? You ain't the only one. Oh Lord, why me? You ain't the only one. Oh Lord, why I lose my job? You ain't the only one unemployed. Oh Lord, why he leave me? You ain't the first chick got left. This might not even be your last time getting left. Pull yourself together and quit tripping cause you in the process.
Could it be possible that God has allowed you to face and confront certain things so that he could use you to be a blessing in somebody else's life? Could it be possible that your destiny incorporates the place of your agony? That God wants to use you in the very area that you have had the greatest pain and the greatest turmoil. Could it be possible that the passion that is necessary to be effective is derived from a personal malady that gave you the deep well? I've noticed that anybody I've ever met who was greatly anointed and had a deep well through which they were able to change lives, they also had a deep experience which was the catalyst to give them the motivation to drive over all the obstacles that would deter you from destiny and give you the power to, as I like to say, take a licking and keep on ticking, because you are driven by more than finances, more than money. You are driven by a personal experience and an encounter with God.
God is processing you. He ain't through with you. If he was through with you, you would not wake up in the morning. He gonna fix it. Everything is wrong. First of all, let me tell you this right here. Why are you tripping? I look back on my life at all that I've been through. So the stuff I'm currently going through, I have built up enough reservoir that living in the car taught me that this ain't it. So the things I'm going through now, I know this ain't it. That he gonna come get me in a minute. So all I gotta do is sit tight. I ain't in a bad place. Now I ain't where I wanna be, but the spot I'm in is better than where I was. I ain't homeless. So what I'm going through right now, y'all don't know, I got some challenges. People think when you get famous or rich that your problems is over. Oh, they got a whole new set of them for you. They got some stuff you ain't seen. Biggie wrote a song, said one time, more money, more problems. I got to tell you something, that boy wasn't never lying. But I'll tell you the truth right now. The problems I got right now, I'll take it. Because the problems I had when I was homeless, I don't want them.
You've gone through the mess. You've been through the test and the trials and the pain and the ostracization and the criticisms and the heartache and the dilemma or the divorce or the confusion or the mental chaos or the emotional mayhem that is necessary to make you an expert. You graduated from the School of Hard Knocks. When you come from a place like that, you have power like you would not believe. You have power to withstand obstacles. You are not easily deterred, discouraged. You don't fall back. You don't lapse into depression. You rise up out of a hellhole with a fresh determination to be used by God like you have never been used before. Don't make a permanent decision over a temporary circumstance. Don't allow a moment of agony to make you draw a conclusion about life prematurely. Because if you just keep on walking with God, God has a way of making everything all right. But he warns us and declares to us that the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. Steps. Now, the term steps implies process. Means it's going to take a while. Means that you can't get to the destination just because you want it. just because you saw it, just because you like it, just because you need it.
Life was designed to give us what we deserve. We do not reap a harvest in the fall because we need it. We reap a harvest in the fall because we deserve it. Not necessarily from a moral standpoint. Of course, there are some moral laws as well, spiritual and moral laws. But just the basic laws that simply say if you wish to reap, you must plant. So jot this down. Reaping is reserved for the planters. And the reason they reap is because they deserve it. They're the planters. They deserve to. Interesting Bible phrase that says, if you keep knocking, you'll find open doors. Good phrase to jot down. If you keep knocking, you'll find open doors. Doors of opportunity. Doors of a chance to meet someone. Doors open for association. Doors open to find someone special. Doors open to find a unique business colleague. If you keep knocking, doors of opportunity are open to those who continually knock. So we don't find open doors of opportunity because we need them. Only those who knock deserve to find a door. The promise is, if you continually knock, find doors open. It says, if you search, you will find.
In fact, we are often tormented by vision. We are tormented by vision. It's a painful thing to be a visionary, because the visionary sees what shall be and wakes up to deal with what is. Sometimes the visionary cries out on the inside and says, God, don't even show me what shall be. Because every time I shout and dance over what you showed me, I go home to a harsh and painful, bleak, dark reality. And the fact that I am torn between what shall be and what is creates agony in my life. The Bible said hope deferred makes the heart sick. Oh, now I'm not happy doing what I used to be happy doing, because I'm tormented by what shall be. I want to hasten my process so that I can get to an expected end. But that cannot be done, because a blessing given too soon is not a blessing at all. I can give my son the car keys now, tell him to go to the store. And had I given it to him when he was 5, it would not have been a blessing at all. Same car, same son, given too soon. He can't handle it. The car can handle it. The road can handle it. I can give it to him, but he can't handle it. So would I be a good father if I gave him a good thing too soon? Sometimes my goodness is proven by my ability to say not yet. If we get what is ours too soon, we cannot handle it.
I remember Mother Teresa saying something that really grabbed me. She said, just when I thought I had a handle on life, the handle broke.
That the same thing that should make us praise the Father will drive us away from the Father if we get it too soon. My prayer has always been, Lord, don't give me more than I can handle. You know when to bless me. You know how to bless me. You know when I'm ready to be blessed. Teach me patience with the process. Go through the process. God has ordered the steps. It helps me to understand that I am not wandering aimlessly, that I'm not just moving on my own, that there is a course for me to take, and that I can't graduate till I take it, that there is a path for me to trod, that God isn't making this thing up as he goes. I prayed to abort the process. I prayed to speed it up. I prayed to get out of things that he wanted me to stay into. I prayed that I wouldn't have to endure some things that he wanted me to endure. I was working on the destination, but he was working on me. And sometimes he made me wait. He made me slow down and said, no, you skipped that step. Go back. Because all of these are tools that I'm using to work on you. I'm not preparing the blessing for you. I'm preparing you for the blessing. The blessing is already prepared. Oh my God. The blessing is already prepared. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things that God have prepared for them that love it. Did you know your blessing is already ready? That is already in place, that God isn't fixing it up right now. It's already done. That the work doesn't have to be applied to where you're going. The work has to be applied to you so that when you get where you're going, you can handle what you gotta handle. And so, God, help me preach the steps, the steps, the steps. Touch 3 people and say, the steps, the steps, the steps. It is my sickness that makes my healing. It is my poverty that illuminates my prosperity, makes me appreciate where I am right now. You don't notice good health till you've been sick. You don't even notice it. You don't even understand the words that are coming out of my mouth until you have been sick. You will never thank God for feeling good until you felt bad. You'll never thank God for your back, for your neck, for your head, for your kidneys, for your liver until it's been challenged. But after a while, you start thanking God for crazy stuff. Thank you, because I can see this morning. Praise him on the steps. Don't wait till you get to the stage. Don't wait till you get finished. Don't wait till everything is in order. But every now and then, you ought to stop right in the middle of the step and say, Lord, I thank you. I'm not where I'm gonna be, but I'm glad I'm not where I used to be. Lord, I thank you. Is there anybody in here that's praising God on the steps? I'm not there yet. I'm not finished yet. I haven't arrived yet. But when you see me praising God, I'm praising him on the steps. Somebody praise him on the steps.
The journey about life and understanding what the true process is in life is understanding that you have to go through certain circumstances to get to a certain level in your life. Now, many people do not have the patience to go through this process, but you have to have the ability to trust the process instead of rushing the process. How much patience do you really have on your journey? Now, I'm not going to lie to you. We all go through these changes where we want that now. We want that right now. We need it at that moment. Maybe you have to pay a bill. Maybe you need that job that you've been working for so long trying to get it, but yet it hasn't happened yet. Maybe you worked so hard in your life and everyone rejected you, and you felt that you didn't have what it took to get to the level that you want in your life. This is the process that I'm talking about. This is the process that you and I all in this world have to understand, that we have to go through something to get to that level in life. So you got to go through it to get to it. You got to go through certain circumstances so that you can understand as you go through it, you learn to build up on it. It's not going to happen overnight. I understand it. Believe me, I do, especially in these times that we're dealing with right now. Many people are losing their homes, jobs, even certain people are going through certain family breakups. But even then, you have to have the patience and the fortitude to try to get back in line. We have to get past negativity. We have to get past doubt. And we have to understand that there's more to us than we could ever imagine. You have to trust the process. You have to believe in the process. You have to be strong in the process and realize that it's going to take a little time. Now, time does move on and things just don't happen overnight. The beauty about the process is that you're learning something. You're learning about yourself. You're learning how to go through certain things, and you're learning how to build up instead of tear down. Does it stress you out that you're not where you want to be? I can understand that. I've been there. I go through it day in and day out. And you will probably go through it as well. None of us are vulnerable to this. We are human beings, and human beings sometimes act on emotions. But you have to harness your emotions. You have to understand that you got to go through something to get to the level that you want in your life. You have to be hungry, and you have to continue to go after it. But it's going to take time. And you have to be willing to work at it as much as you possibly can. You have to have the patience. And with that comes the great rewards. Trusting the process, understanding the process, believing in the process. Because if you're rushing it, then it may not work out the way you want. You may not even be ready for it because you went too fast instead of just taking your time. It's not going to happen overnight, but you got to be strong. You got to believe in it. You got to trust in it. You got to understand it, and you got to keep going after it. Ladies and gentlemen, these are some troubling times. We all are fighting the good fight. And maybe some people don't have the strength, and maybe some do. But don't be the person to give up. Don't be the person that wants to quit. Don't be the person that turns your back on the victory because you felt that you lost it all. You haven't lost anything. You're just going through the challenges. And with challenges comes great rewards. But you got to keep the faith. You got to stay hopeful, not hopeless. You got to continue to go on and look up. I speak about looking up often because that's the best thing you could ever do. Keeping your eyes on the sky and looking beyond it. And not looking down on your misery. And not concerning yourself about things that you cannot control. Because we tend to get ourselves wrapped up in that from time to time. Get away from it. And believe in yourself. Have the strength and the fortitude to carry on. And when other people don't want to be there where you are, then maybe that's the time to cut that away. Don't let all of this heavy weight bring you down. Believe and understand that your process is necessary. Understand that you're going to get where you need to get, but you got to be on top of your game, and you got to keep making moves, and you got to stay strong, and you got to stay powerful, and you got to keep on moving. That's how you get to that level. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on the possibilities. Stay strong, stay productive, stay powerful, and from the bottom of my heart, conduct your business.
Take ownership. Take extreme ownership. Don't make excuses. Don't blame any other person or any other thing. Don't hide your delicate pride from the truth. Everyone took ownership of their mistakes. Everyone took ownership of the problems. Take ownership of your job, of your future, and take ownership of your life. And lead. Lead yourself and your team and the people in your life. Lead them all to victory.
There is a certain mentality that is associated with winners. Because there's a mentality. This is not about money. It's not about anything tangible. There's a mentality that goes along with winning.
Trying to learn early the consequences of errors in judgment, poor behavior, and then try to learn from others that have gone down a disastrous road, and sure enough, they suffered the consequences, and you say, wow, then I'm going to change direction because I don't want those consequences.
And to the positive, once you get that mentality, you can listen at a person talk a few minutes and either it feeds you or it doesn't. And you learn sooner or later that things that don't feed you, you don't spend time fooling with it, because it is counterproductive to where you're trying to go. You don't argue with people. You stop arguing with people. You just move aside and go on in your own direction because you finally got it on the right road and you don't want anything to blow you off course. And now that you've got your focus, you want to be able to maintain your focus and keep moving forward. Likewise, failing has a pathology. You can get in around failing people and have failing circumstances and listen at negative talking, and after a while you find yourself unable to get back up again because not only are you down, but what is worse is your environment is down and everybody who's talking to you is talking down, and you develop a mentality built around your condition.
Learning from errors in judgment. A few simple disciplines practiced every day. Now you're on the road to success. A few errors in judgment repeated, and you can turn anything around.
How you gonna show power if you're not up under attack? How you gonna show resistance if something's not trying to pull you over? Resist, resist. Stop being neutral and stop being indifferent. Resist. Take a stand and resist.
You know, courage mounts up, and then sometimes we have the doubts that creep in, and we reach a little deeper to find that courage that overcomes our doubts and our fears. Courage to do what you didn't think you could do. The courage to step into territory that might be a little unfamiliar. The courage to talk to somebody you don't know. Courage to stand up when it's sort of dark in your corner. The courage to do it when it isn't going your way, seemingly.
Be strong and very courageous. Be strong and very courageous. Be strong and be of good courage. Be strong and possess the land.
Don't wait anymore. Don't think anymore. Don't plan anymore. Don't contemplate anymore. Don't make any more excuses or justifications. Don't rationalize anything else. No and no. Instead, be aggressive. Take action now. And what is the first action that you need to take? Take the step. Step aggressively towards your fear. And that step towards your fear is the step into bravery. Because we're scared of what we don't know. And there is only one way to learn and to know, and that is to confront that fear. You have to step, you have to go. And this simple action, this simple attitude, it answers so many questions. How do you change your diet? You step, you go. You step, you go. How do you overcome fear of failure or fear of success or fear of fear itself? You step.
Face everything and rise. That's what a few people will do. The ones who will face everything and run, they've already gone to look at television and constant negative news and other drama stuff and go to bed fearful tonight. They won't even get a good night's sleep. This is for people that are positive, that are motivated, and that are hungry. I can't say this enough. Work on your mind. Listen to things that empower you, that builds your spirit, that's got your name on it. Listen, why? Because faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing. Oh, I heard it before. No, listen until you're producing the results. If you're not producing the results, you haven't heard it enough. You got to listen till it goes past the conscious mind to the subconscious mind. So you need a coach, somebody that can see what you can't see.
We all have doubts that attack us. We all have small fears that creep in. That is the nature of life. But that's what faith is all about. That's what courage is all about. To serve us when our doubts will not serve us well. Faith to overcome fear and courage to overcome our doubts. That, of course, is the very essence of life itself.
because we all have this warfare going on. In our own body, the warfare between health and illness, the struggle is on. The struggle between light and darkness, the struggle between good and evil. We must drive the dark side of our nature into a small corner and let the positive side flourish. So self-control is certainly necessary to be a strong leader, so that you can become the best example of choosing wise words and not being careless, that kind of control.
You work on your mindset. You read 30 to 40 pages of something positive every day. You can't help but change. I'm an assassin. I'll kill every negative, mediocre cell in your body. You were born for greatness, not to be a victim. No, life happens to everybody. Everybody. And no one escapes it. It's called unavoidable suffering. Life is difficult. So work on your mind. I work on my mind every day. Every day I work on it. There's a calling on your life, and you're greater than your circumstances. You're greater than anything that has ever happened to you.
Indecision is the thief of opportunity. If you don't decide what you're going to do today, the day could get away and you're not very effective. Don't start the day until you have it finished. Is it possible to finish the day before you start it? And the answer is yes. If you don't finish it, the day escapes. And in the morning you say, let's see, what should I do now? In the afternoon you say, hey, time's getting away from me, what should I do now? And now most of the day is lost. Most of the day escapes not being utilized simply because you didn't make those decisions early, at the early part of the day. The decisions we make in the early part of our life sometimes last for a lifetime. If you neglect them and don't make them, sure enough, the time passes. And the opportunity sometimes is diminished, and sometimes you spend a lot of time now catching up simply because you didn't make those early decisions. So it's the decisions at the first of the day, it's the decisions at the early part of the month, it's the decisions at the early part of the year that greatly determines what kind of year you're going to have. The decisions you make at the first chance you see opportunity, those decisions. Then we need decisions to correct poor decisions, to overcome our mistakes. It's possible, of course, for all of us to make unwise decisions. At the end of a few years, we say, that decision cost me too much, cost me a lot of time, cost me a lot of money. But as long as you're alive, there's still a chance to use new decision power to correct the mistakes of decisions that were bad in the past. All of us have the opportunity to do that, but I think Napoleon was right here too. You got to be definite in making decisions so that the opportunity doesn't pass you by. Take advantage.
The people that do that, the people that go against the grain, the people who ignore the naysayers, the haters, the people who turn a deaf ear to people telling them what they can't do. Do what you can do. Give it everything that you have. What are you hungry for? Because when we come out of this, our lives will never be the same again. A lot of people are going to be left behind. A lot of people will be devastated. A lot of people will take themselves out. But a few people, those who are able to rise, a few people, the road to life is straight and narrow, but few there be that find it, because few there be that are hungry. You got to go all out. It takes everything in you. You got to feel that you were chosen for such a time as this. This is an appointment, a divine appointment for your dream.
This could be the greatest time you ever live if you control what you focus on, if you find a more empowering meaning, and if you decide to model the actions of those who succeeded before you. It can be the best financial time, the best emotional time, the best spiritual time of your life, but you better take control of your state. And if you think you're going to do it just by today, you're wrong. You're going to need to get yourself some rituals. So you better do the right thing at the right time. And to do that, you better know what season you're in. And to do that, you better learn how to change your state, how to take control of your own conditioning. That's what I live for.
A good leader has definite plans. Your plans to be financially secure. You got to have good plans. One more on plans, and that is the plan for your personal development. The plan to be better this year than last year. The plan to take the classes, do everything you possibly can to show personal progress. Not just financial progress, but the progress of personality, the progress of communication skills, the progress in how to deal with people. You need those kind of plans. A plan for personal growth, personal development, a plan to be all that you can possibly be. Got to have good plans. A good leader has the habit of doing more than what he gets paid for. What an incredible philosophy this is. It's what we call the service that you put out like seeds in the ground that doesn't bring the harvest immediately, but the harvest is yet to come.
There's no secret to success. There's a system to success. The system works if you work it. If you don't work it, it won't work. But it works if you work it. And that's one four-letter word that most people don't like, that most people won't participate in their own rescue. And there are people who will be presented with an opportunity, who know that they could be laid off at any moment, who know that them keeping their job has nothing to do with how good they are. And yet and still, they'll go to work and have knots in their stomachs, hoping when they open up an email that they have not been told this is your last day. They'll go to work hoping there's not a security guard standing by their desk with a box and say, empty your things in here and take them to the front door and escort them to the parking lot. They go in there hoping it doesn't happen. Why? Because they don't want to do the work. It's an aversion to most people's spirit.
That once a person's mind is expanded with an idea, it can never be satisfied to going back to where it was. So some of you are going to experience a breakthrough. Some of you are going to go back and look at your dreams and brush them off. Whatever goal that you have in mind, I want that to be a goal that will challenge you, something that will make you stretch. What is it that you looked at some point in time and you decided that you couldn't do it, that you talk yourself out of it? Whatever it is, bring it back out there. How you're going to do it, that will come to you in due time. You've got to begin to take a look at your life and look at where are you right now? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What gives your life a sense of fulfillment, a sense of joy? What is it that you could love doing 7 days a week? See, you don't get in life what you want, ladies and gentlemen. You get in life what you are, not what you want. You see, the good news is that we can always become more by working to develop ourselves. Think about that.
I fought my way up. I fought to get to work. I fought to stand. I fought to carry on. I fought to live. I fought to get out the bed. I fought with my fears, my anxieties. I fought with haters, liars, backbiters, and betrayers. And many times I laid in the bed. I couldn't go to sleep because I was fighting with myself. I fought.
Some people get it the first time they hear it. And then some folk got to go home and chew on it and think about it and turn it over in their minds. And sometimes it takes a year, 5 years, 8 years. You can't be impatient with the seed coming up because every seed does not come up at the same time. You have to be patient with the soil. You have to tend it. You have to take care of it. You have to make sure that when the seed is ready to be cast, that the soil is ready to receive it.
I ask you to start that same journey. Let your new skills, new disciplines affect all of the rest. 6/7 of our life was to be devoted to labor and work, to produce a good family, to produce an enterprise. That's the essence of life in its best form first, is to be a producer. What is the reason for the seed and the soil and the sunshine and the rain and the seasons of life and its miracle? What's the reason for all of that? Here it is in a nutshell for your notes. To see what you can do with it. We've got books to read and we've got classes to attend and we've got, things to do and things to learn. And if you put it all together, you can have not only your health, but your fortune. Why not see what you can do with what you've been handed? As basic as seed and soil and sunshine and rain. Only God can create the sunshine, the rain, the seasons, the miracle of life. But here's what humans can do. Recreate those components into a harvest by planting the seed,
reaping the rewards in the harvest. We call that recreation. To take your hours and your energy and your life and a bit of skill and create, actually recreate a career, a future, possibilities, fortune, recreate.
I mean, really, how many years ago did you come up with what you could and couldn't do in your life? How many years ago? Most people, if they really look at how they're living their life today, it's based on a set of standards, a set of beliefs that they made choices about 10, 20, 30 or more years ago. I mean, very often we made decisions in our youth or very young about what to believe, about what we were capable of, about who we are as a person, and that becomes the glass ceiling, if you will, that controls us. I'll give you an example. Look at your physical body. Your physical body today is an absolute reflection of only one thing. Not your goals, not your desires, but your standards. Again, the strongest force in the human personality is this need to stay consistent with how we define ourselves.
So when you begin to say, what is it that I want to leave? What contribution that I want to begin to make? What difference do I want to make in life? What chances I need to take? What risks do I need to begin to embrace? What fears do I need to step on? What areas of my life am I dead right now? What dreams? You can either live your dreams or live your fears. You have got to get to a point where you say, I'm sick and tired of living like this. There's got to be more. That's when people go out and strike out on their dreams.
You don't always get your goals, but you always get your standards. Everybody in life gets their musts. They don't get their shoulds. Most people have a list of shoulds, don't they? Don't you have a list of shoulds, things you should do, you should follow through on? I should get into the office earlier. I should be, more confident. Whatever your should list is, when you decide something is a must for you, an absolute must, when you cut off any possible, you say, I'm going to find the way, I'm going to make the way.
Once you see that you're suffering either early consequences or severe consequences, all you have to do now is shut down that route, pick another destination and start going that way with some easy disciplines that day by day gather momentum, and now one success leads to another, leads to another. All disciplines affect each other. What's interesting about success is starting a new discipline, a couple of new disciplines, and sure enough, once you've gained just a little bit of success in a couple of new disciplines, it'll inspire you to clean up the rest. Each lack of discipline affects the rest.